Hey,
Good
Danielle.
evening.
Good
Hey,
evening. Matt, how's it going?
What's up? What's up?
Matthew.
Good
What's up?
evening, you
Hello.
guys.
Give me a sec.
Yes.
Ah, are we ready for
What are we
tonight?
drinking?
I
Yeah.
have I
Yeah.
haven't even cracked it yet, but I've got a fresh crack for tonight that I'm super excited to
Danielle's
try.
always beautiful.
I just stopped by the
Aw.
store a little bit ago, and they had this Davis County limited edition, and I didn't
Wow.
know that Davis County was even doing a limited edition. It's a double barrel finish. And I was like, whoa, that's got to be a sign. So,
There you go.
so I grabbed it. So,
Yes.
What
so
are you
what is,
drinking, Danielle?
I am drinking small batch.
Small batch. I'll join you in
Easy.
the small batch.
Brian can't wait to get his award.
Mr. Clean mentioned that I should probably that we what we should probably do is all of the winners. The what we should do is send them like 350 mLs of Fireball. And I was like, that would actually be like, here's your award and a 350
Right?
milliliter.
I would like to just send them something. I would like to send something. Even if it's like homemade.
I'm
Well,
sending participation certificates. I got plenty of them printed out.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to give some out.
so there have been a lot of people from the content creator
Neil?
awards that have actually like
Mm-hmm.
requested to be like dropped. But the
Yes.
problem is that I don't know exactly which ones. So when we get to that portion, we're just going to announce them. And
Yeah.
again, the awards never meant anything to begin with. So
No.
so what? Um,
Yeah. It's
I got
not
the
a
TV.
popularity contest. It's not to hurt anybody's feelings.
Hi, Mr.
It
Clean.
was just for fun. It's to get people together.
yep,
For as much crap as we've received, or you have received, and Bourbon TikTok has received, there's still 70 to 80 people in the live, and that's
exactly,
awesome.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so and that's one of the things that I really want to mention is that the fact that there's right 69 people in here right now, it'll fluctuate
Right.
probably greatly throughout the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point. I hope to see everybody in the chat talking like crazy with one another and just having a great night. And that was always the point. So, hey, everybody that's tuning in, you got to understand that a whole bunch of things changed in the last 24 hours. Um, so let give me a second. Let Matt and Danielle and I just chat real quick. Um, Danielle,
Yeah.
Matt forgot which awards he was originally gonna uh, go with. So what I'm
Yeah.
thinking is like that sheet that I sent you guys like an hour and a
Yeah.
half ago. Let's
Uh-huh.
just go like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll
That's
present.
totally fine.
I'll present small craft. Danielle, you do best mid-size. Matt, you do best large, and then we'll just rotate through those three like that same process over and over again until we're done. Does that work?
Yeah. Like, so
That's
you mean
fine with
like
me.
one of us go three and then the next do three, like that?
Oh no no
No,
no.
Dan
So
goes one, you go two, I go three,
Oh, we
and
just
we'll just
alternate that way.
yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
does that work?
That's fine.
Did you have
Yeah.
anything special prepared for presenting?
Listen, whoever is and the number one, like whatever category, Charlotte has a dance.
Oh, well,
She's done it to me.
you tell us when that happens, and we will cut to Charlotte.
Is
Okay.
just a quick question: is Andrew going to jump in here at some point?
I never got a confirmation, so I'm going to assume no. Matt, I
Okay.
would like for you to cover that piece, so I'll do the
Oh,
introduction. You do the in memoriam, and then announce the raffle, like,
yeah.
And then when you're done with that, kick it back to me, and I'll do best small craft.
Hey, Clinton.
Okay.
Does that work?
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, that works great.
Okay, cool. Oh, man. Yeah, see, we were up
We
at
still got
90,
4
now we're down to
minutes.
52, but still, I mean, this is great, and I'm so looking forward to the folks chatting. Really.
It will go up and go down. I bet at one point we'll be up over 100. The first part of this is, this is the first one. We live and learn. Well, you live and learn.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, yeah, it maybe it rubbed a few people wrong, but at the same time, now if we were to do this again, because no one in Bourbon TikTok has done anything like this, so congratulations to you on being an innovator.
Well, thank you.
That to me that was pretty awesome. Is you had an idea and you went with it, and it's a great idea. We might just need to. You're smart enough to open it up and maybe let people
Polish
do polls for next.
It's
polish it up a little bit. Same with us when we did the first auction, or the first, I should say, raffle. I'm sure there was hiccups when we did our first raffle with Hayden. There was hiccups, but you overcome it and then you learn from it.
Yeah.
And it still turns out to be a great idea.
Well, I appreciate that, and I do think it's got potential. And
what's up, Andrew?
I've actually got a way that we can involve literally anybody who wants to be involved. They can help with the nomination. Excuse me. They can help identify the categories. They can help the nominations. They can do the judging, to where it's truly anybody that wants to participate. And depending on how tonight goes, I might reveal it tonight, or maybe it needs to wait. But I mean, the first part of it is ready to go.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think Bourbon TikTok would definitely get behind you on that.
I got
it's
balloons.
Just yeah, you did. She's got balloons back there.
I got balloons.
Ooh, fancy! You got dressed up.
I did my hair and everything. I didn't wear like a ball gown or anything like I really wanted to. I toned it down just a little.
I mean, I threw on a polo, but if I stood up, you'd see I'm wearing jogging pants.
I just wore my shirt that says "We can all do better."
Oh,
glasses! Oh my gosh! Hey, while I'm sure I can't speak for Danielle, I'd really rather
hold on 1 second.
Flood the likes.
What'd you say?
You're fine. The gifts are awesome, but I want tonight to be about the community, and gifts are awesome, but that's not really for the community.
So tap tap tap.
What's that?
The likes.
I will tell you. I'll tell you what I'm doing with my tips. The gifts.
Yeah.
I'm donating them all the money that comes into my account. I'm donating to Ashley and Jax.
Nice.
So if you want to do gifts, throw them towards Matt.
I'm just gonna send them straight to Ashley.
Yeah.
Beard Awards. Oh my gosh, guys.
Throw them to Matt.
Beard Awards.
All right, so
Beard Awards. That would be a tough one.
There's a lot of good beards in Bourbon.
I mean,
TikTok.
Seriously. I don't know. I definitely have to think about that. I think rating the beards already is. I feel like that's plenty.
It takes a lot of time.
Well, let me ask you this.
If
people got their feelings hurt, not making fun of them, but people did legitimately get their feelings hurt, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Best beard, that's probably going to hurt some feelings too. Let's be honest here.
Well, I mean, I think
it's right here.
It's touchy because you don't want to say, I don't even want to rate a beard if it's not something that I love. That's going to be
everybody's beard is different.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
I mean, so for Danielle, I know Danielle likes a multicolored beard. Yes. She likes a tricolored beard. Yes. The 3-grain or the 4-grain beard, like I like to call it. Some of us don't have the 2 or 3-grain beard. Some of us just, I guess a little bit. I got a little multicolor going.
Yeah.
The rule has to be a minimum of 2, or it can't be a 10.
I like what Whiskey Thief 805 says. My beard's attached to my emotions.
Yeah, see?
Well, what do you say we actually get
Jana, I
started
don't
with?
have gray, but I have white.
What do you say we
Go
get
ahead. Let's
started?
start, Dan.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do it.
All right. So I want to let everybody know that I actually have some prepared, like a prepared introduction. From here, after we get through this, the printed prepared stuff is going to
Wait,
go away. Yes.
there's like a TV or something on. Do you hear it?
Oh, hold on. Yeah, it's my daughter. Let me get my wife
you
turn
need to
it
turn
down.
Yeah.
I will.
Okay,
Give
cool.
me a second.
I just can't hear you very good over it.
Oh, okay. Do I need to move it closer?
No, it's mine. I have to turn it way down. They can hear the TV. Can you hear?
I'm looking at the comments. Schweik. I know. Sorry. He can't grow one.
All right.
He's in the military.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem at all.
You're good.
Oh, Whiskey Diz. Who won? Tennessee or Bama? I think it was Bama.
Matt, that TV is still loud.
Is it really?
Yes.
Maybe it's not mine. I can't hear the TV.
I don't have anything on here.
Same.
All right. Babe, can you have her watch it in her bedroom? That's pulling up the background noise.
I don't know. Can you hear it?
I can take.
I can hear it, but
Okay.
but I can also hear you guys just fine too. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't able to. Okay.
How about that?
Yes.
Is that better?
That's perfect.
Yes, I can
That's
hear
great.
you.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
All right. Sorry about that.
Oh no problem at all. Okay, so like I was saying, I've got some prepared stuff for this portion. After that, there will be no script. But I do want to welcome everybody to this event. If there's one thread that's going to be talked about throughout the night, and I hope everybody can be on board with, it's that tonight is supposed to be fun for everybody in the chat room. Okay, I want y'all interacting with each other, have fun. I don't know that the three of us will be able to really interact with you guys very much, because that's not the point is for y'all to enjoy us and each other. That was always the point from the very beginning.
Exactly.
So with the focus being on fun, the first thing I want to say is that for many of you, if you've not been with me in a live before, there's a good chance you don't know anything about Dan. If all you've ever done is see my content, you don't know anything about Dan whatsoever. You know a character that I created. That 90% of my content is done in that character. And so welcome. It's nice to meet you. I'm Dan. I hope tonight's a good time. I hope it's a lot of fun. I want to throw out there also that I'm not a religious person at all. But there's one thing that I want everybody to keep in mind, and I promise that this is going to be true. And that comes from Proverbs 11:27, if memory serves. But, where did it go? Yeah, Proverbs 11:27. If you are here looking for fun, you're sure to find it. If you're here to get mad and find drama, you're going to find it. Okay?
For sure.
But the intent for tonight is the fun. If you're looking for something to trigger you, it's likely going to happen, and it's not intentional. None of it was intentional. But I want to go back to where this originally came from. I had started working on those not the D-bag, but the BS awards that I thought were going to be really funny, and most people found them to be pretty funny. But in the middle of that, there was a lot of negativity. No, not a lot of negativity. There were a lot of people sad because a Bourbon TikTok member was not doing well. And I looked at the awards that I was doing, those bullshit awards, and looked at the community sadness and realized that the community needed something that would be fun and engaging for everybody. And that got me thinking about what ended up being this idea. And that's really where it came from, was trying to find something to bring everybody from the community together to have fun and to interact with each other. The awards themselves, the awards themselves were never the point. And even whenever I was like thinking through this, I was thinking through them and almost decided to name them the MacGuffin Awards. If anybody knows what a MacGuffin is, that's a movie term. The most famous of them is the briefcase from Pulp Fiction. The briefcase from Pulp Fiction is central to the entire movie, but the briefcase doesn't matter. The briefcase helps move the story along throughout, but the briefcase itself doesn't matter at all. The rug from The Big Lebowski, that's a MacGuffin. The rug doesn't matter. It's the reason for the plot moving forward, but it doesn't matter. And what matters for this is the interactions of everybody in Bourbon TikTok, not the awards themselves. So I knew it needed to be a collaboration. I started working and talking to the folks that ended up being all of the judges, and I'm so glad that you all got on board because even through the rough times, even more so, I found out how awesome you guys are. And many of you I had never interacted. Danielle, you and I had never had a conversation.
This is the first time I've ever seen you live. Yeah, that I've ever been on your live.
Yeah, I've joined you in live a couple times, like when you and Allie and Matt have been in live, but we had never interacted one-on-one with each other prior to this collaboration. I can say the same thing for Clint. I can actually say the same thing for Kent, Josh, so many of you. But so in any case, as I've said in a couple videos, I reached out to everybody individually, one-on-one, and gave them the individual idea, asked them not to talk about it to anybody. I got you guys' email addresses, and it wasn't until literally all of the votes had been cast, everything was done, that the judges ended up knowing who each other were. And that was a week and a half ago. Literally a week and a half ago is when the judges found out who the other ones were.
Yeah.
And that was important because there were going to be creator categories. And I wanted to reduce the chances of people intentionally voting for other judges. Turns out it happened naturally, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, in my opinion. But it can be better. And we can do better we can do better next time. Even before we got to the promo awards for the content creator categories, there were some issues as far as like, oh, this distillery is better than the other. Again, who cares? The fact that Nulu ended up being one of the, like, within one of the distillery categories and isn't even a distillery should tell you how unimportant the awards actually were. Okay, so that's the intro. That's the intro. Welcome. I hope everybody has a great night tonight. We had a lot of fun doing this. All of the judges, as far as I remember, as of a week ago, we're still making statements about, wow, this was so much fun. I hope to be involved if you do this again some other time, Dan. So we had a lot of fun. And I hope you guys have a lot of fun tonight. But before we do anything else, I want to pass things over to Matt. Matt has a few things to say and some information to put out. So, Matt, please go ahead.
I also saw Hayden's brother is in here. Andrew. He's in here. If he'd like to talk, I can bounce out and let him talk about Hayden himself. He knows Hayden better than any of us. So Andrew, if you're in here, let me know and I will bounce out.
Yeah, please send something in chat.
I just saw him a few seconds ago. Yeah, he's here. Okay, Andrew, I'm gonna bounce out so you can go in.
All right, Andrew's joining us.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Andrew,
Hi,
thanks so
Andrew.
much. I never got confirmation if you were going to join us or not. So, but I'm so glad you can.
Back, man.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. So, yeah. So, Andrew, thanks so much for joining us. I asked you to join us just really briefly because, again, tonight is not about me or the judges. It's about the bourbon TikTok community. And as everybody in bourbon TikTok knows, we lost your brother. And I think I think that no matter how much fun we hope this can be tonight, it doesn't mean much if we don't recognize that loss. So, Andrew, could you share a little bit about Hayden, please?
Just like growing up with him and everything.
Whatever you feel like. Honestly, I don't want to tell you what to say. Just
Well, I can say that you guys got the best version of Hayden there has been over the years, and I mean everybody will say that in different ways, but he's a big loving teddy bear, man. And you guys got to see it firsthand. Some through some terrible toast and stuff on TikTok, and others just through sharing a drink and watching them hang out till 3 o'clock in the morning. I know Brandon got banned several times with him up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning trying to. So he's a lot of fun, super loving guy, and I mean he just he changed a lot, even in the last year or so. So pretty much his time on Bourbon TikTok, he changed dramatically in personality and all the things going on for him. But just big love and teddy bear, man. You can't replace anybody like that. One of the best friends you could ever have. So
how was he as a brother?
In younger ages, heck of a fighter. That was fun. The crazy thing, though, is, you go from throwing down fist fights and busting each other's lip to he'd do the same thing to a stranger who tried to threaten me.
Right, exactly.
So it's just brotherly love, honestly. You're going to see it end to end. Doesn't matter. But it was interesting growing up with him, man. All of his phases through growing up, and good Lord, blowing all his money on cars to getting married, having a kid. I mean, he dramatic changes, and all of that, he just became a better and better dude, more fun and interesting to be around for sure. Never died off that I would continuously give him hell, though. That's necessary part of being his brother, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's really important, and I have made it clear numerous times that I never had the pleasure of interacting with Hayden. I joined TikTok very shortly before he took a turn for the worst, and I never had the ability to interact with him. And from hearing all of the stories about him, like, I'm still sad because I never had the chance to interact with him. And he just, like, everything I've seen from other people, the replays that they've done, everything, he just had a huge personality and was just a fun, good-hearted dude, it seemed.
For sure. Yeah. And I can tell you, firsthand experience, everybody, especially now, when it happens that people start to go downhill and end up passing, people tend to play him up as a saint, and he was no saint and would not claim that himself, but he was one of the best friends you could have. He'd give you the shirt off his back, and then he'd give you the shirt off of my back and my dad's back, and but it was all out of love. It wasn't out of he wanted the best for whoever he was putting into.
Yeah.
So he's a great dude.
Yeah.
But
wow.
He loved you guys, man. The support you guys have shown, as a community, even the ones who did not know him, without y'all's support and what you did in the first fundraiser, we wouldn't have been able to afford to bury him.
Wow.
So that's a serious statement. That's not something Randy pulled up as, our family did not have the funds put aside to do the funeral that we had.
Yeah.
So it would have been a big loan if we could get it in time.
Right.
And just turns out Bourbon TikTok pulled through, man. And, they got the, not auction. They've got the
raffle.
Raffle. Yeah, the raffle coming up. And you guys know Brown Waterway and Matt, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Both of those guys are taking the collection for the tickets and everything, really pushing for that. And man, I was blown away. I've been in and out of Mexico for the last few days, so I haven't really got to watch any of the content coming up with all the people bickering back and forth about this thing. I've been trying.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
I know. I haven't got to watch anything. And one of the first things I saw when I came back in was how many tickets have sold in like the last 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already blown away because when they first posted, selling tickets to the 31st, I'm like, good luck selling enough tickets for a raffle.
Yeah.
But they push the heck out of it. They do fantastic job every time. I just constantly impressed with you guys.
Yeah.
Loving the community. Amazing.
Yeah. So Matt and Randy are doing a great job. And Matt's going to give a few of the details, like whenever he jumps back in. He's going to give some more details to make sure, like we've got 75 people in here right now. And if any don't know the details, then he can get them straightened out for those. So hopefully it can help and do good.
Yeah.
Hi, Georgia.
And I'll be out in Bakersfield next month, so I'm hoping to meet up with Matt and go check out his stuff.
Oh, that'll be
a good time. Hopefully it doesn't end up like the taster went. That was a crazy evening, but I just the love and support you guys have had. It's been amazing. So, but I'm constantly impressed by Bourbon TikTok. I always made fun of Hayden for even being on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely, it's an amazing place. I'll tell you that.
He would call and send me his new bourbon list, and he goes, "Oh yeah, the guys on Bourbon TikTok, this and that and the other." And I'm like, "Yeah, what new dances did you learn this week?" And I just picked on him.
Exactly.
TikTok that's gonna, but yeah, he loved it. So
yeah, TikTok's an amazing place. Sometimes positive amazing, sometimes negative amazing, but it is always amazing.
Always amazing. That's true.
Yeah, I can say, met some amazing people so far, and you guys are just amazing to be around, fun. Good Lord, the guys who do barbecue on here.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Throw it down. Their food is killer.
Yeah, bourbon's a good place if you want to learn dance moves, talk bourbon, or learn to barbecue. Yep.
Yes.
Kidding.
Well, Andrew, we really appreciate you joining. We are really glad that you decided to join TikTok and become part of the community.
Yes.
And I know that, again, just restating that I never had the chance to interact with Hayden, but I know that your presence helps a lot of the people who did know Hayden. And that is not to say that you are unimportant, but you are helping in the emotional distress of others while we get to know you and learn to respect you as well.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you don't know how much you do for me, getting to know the guys that Hayden really poured into in those finals. And it's just amazing to get to meet and share stories and hang out and, have a drink. It's a good time, I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time with him in the last few months, minus when I got over there, we did, little mini tastings of probably some of his worst whiskey. I think he liked it. But but yeah, you guys probably got, and some of it's probably internet personality, like you said at the beginning. You kind of build a persona for the internet, right. But you got a better portion of them as well. The few videos I've actually been able to make it through watching on his account have been just, it's him through and through. Big old teddy bear. Love on you, say some crazy things, get you banned. It'll be a good time. But I appreciate you guys having come in, shared good. So
yeah, I would say thank you for joining Bourbon TikTok. It's helped help the healing process a lot for the community and for me personally, because it's kind of, you remind me so much of him, and it's emotional at the same time, seeing you and seeing him too, but it makes me feel like he's still here with us, and I know he is, but you being here is like him still being here. When you were in his apartment, I couldn't handle it. I'm not kidding. I lost it. I have to tell you something that just happened. I was at a fair here in Middle Tennessee, in the middle of nowhere. It's a tiny little town called Bell Buckle. And we were there, and I ran into a lady I haven't seen in years. But when I was posting everybody to pray on Facebook for Hayden, she was one of the people that prayed. So I run into her, and I just see her. I haven't seen her forever. And she says, "I'm so sorry about Hayden." And I just broke down, because to know someone that I know doesn't know him, and I haven't heard his name in that long, it was just like it was like this shock, and just started crying. But there were just so many people that prayed for him when he was sick, and we just really believed. But I just wanted you to know I'm really appreciative that you're here, and I love that you're interacting and making all of these friends, and it's great.
Yeah. And I'm happy to be on here. Ashley pitched the idea while I was over there. She goes, "Why don't you come sit in his spot and do a Taster Tuesday?" And I was like, that's an option, yes. I was like, absolutely.
You need to warn us.
So I know it had to have hit, close to home for some people, but I couldn't pass the opportunity.
For sure.
My goal is never to take his place, because nobody can replace that big old teddy bear.
Oh, right.
Just to love on the community like he was doing, get to know you guys, and the blessings go both ways. They really do. So
yeah. Well, Andrew, again, we really appreciate you joining us, and I think if you're okay with it, we're going to bring Matt back in. I hope you will stick around and enjoy. And I still hope that in the chat area, I hope there's lots of great communication and people interacting with each other and having fun. But I did, like I mentioned, I did feel it was really important to show the respect to Hayden at an event where we're hoping to have a whole lot of folks from the community involved. So So thank you for that, Andrew.
Well, absolutely. Anytime you guys want to jump on live, you just let me know. I'm happy to be a part of it. But I'm going to stay on, watch the rest of the show. I'm looking forward to it.
Andrew, thanks so much, man.
No problem.
Thank you, Andrew.
All right, let's bring Matt back. Really wish I could have.
And I'm back.
Really wish I could have known Hayden.
Yeah.
I was too late.
Hayden was a great man. He was taken too soon, but he's now become a legend in Bourbon TikTok community. He will go down as one of the founding fathers of Bourbon TikTok community. And his smile, his laugh was infectious.
Yeah.
With that being said, we are working on Hayden 2.0 or hashtag for Hayden 2.0, the raffle. as you heard, they had to use over half the funds to bury Hayden. And so that's the whole reason why we're doing it again, is to see if we can help Ashley and Jax, to get Jax set up for a little bit of better of a future, to help Ashley get on her feet so she doesn't have to work 5, 6 days a week. She can spend some time with her son, because there is a healing process with that. So that's why we're doing the raffle. We decided to do a raffle this time for a couple reasons. One reason is there's a lot of people on Bourbon TikTok that felt like they couldn't participate because the lots got bid so high, which we are not complaining about. It was all for a good cause. Mm-hmm. But we want Bourbon TikTok to have the option of maybe being able to get a bottle they couldn't get before.
Right.
So we're selling raffle tickets. There's 2 types of raffle tickets. One is $50. There's 84 lots, I believe, in the $50 category. And then we are selling $100 raffle tickets, and there's 20 bottles available in that. And we're maxing that one out at 60 raffle tickets. So you have a very good chance of getting a bottle worth $100 value. Every bottle in the $50 lot is $50 or above. There's a foolproof in there, a Weller foolproof. You can go on Brown Water Ways Beacon Tree or My Beacon Tree. You can see the bottle list. You can Venmo us. We're putting your name in a spreadsheet, and we're going to do a random number generator. I think we're going to do it. Don't mark. I don't have it in front of me, but I think we're doing it the first Sunday of November, and that's when we're gonna go live and do it live. But we're trying to keep it open until the first part of November. Raffle tickets are sold until November 1st. That way, military and teachers can jump in, because we're trying to make it to where if you need to use your pay period or use something, we've given you plenty of time. Right now we're about halfway through, and Bourbon TikTok is doing well, helping. Of course, we could use more help. We would love to. Randy's been bold enough to say that if we get 50K again, that he will shave his beard off, which nobody really wants to see that. But I do. No. I mean, I kind of want to see it happen. I'm not going to lie. But thank you guys very much for everything that everyone has done through Bourbon TikTok to help Ashley and Jax. I get praise all the time. Randy gets praise all the time. We all got praise for the auction, but the praise goes to Bourbon TikTok, because without Bourbon TikTok, we wouldn't be able to bless that family. So it's not about us. It's about Bourbon TikTok.
Well said, man.
Like I said, if you need any information, DM me or DM Brown Waterway, or go to our Beacon Tree, and you can find all the information there.
And 100% of the money from raffles goes to the family, right?
100% is going to Ashley. In fact, Randy sent her a nice little chunk of money this morning. We're trying to move the money as it comes in, because with Venmo, you can only move so much money before you get blocked out for the week. So we're slowly moving money over now. So she knows what has been made. She gets a text once a week of what Bourbon TikTok is doing with raffles. And so we're very transparent, so she knows what's going on. And then all the tips or all the emojis or the gifts that you guys are giving towards me tonight are going straight to Ashley. My account has been zeroed out every day, and I send that money to Ashley as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you reiterated that. So, I mean, please, if you want to give a gift, give them to Matt. If you want to do something else, send likes so that we can make sure that as many people know about this event as possible. So,
yeah.
Now, with that being said, are we ready to get into the actual award winners?
Let's do it.
Is it time?
Yes.
I say let's do it.
Okay.
Let's have some fun.
All right. To begin with, I want to let everybody know the order. We will be going through all of the Distillery awards to begin with, and then we will be doing all of the Bourbon awards, And then if you choose to stick around, which I hope people will, because hopefully you guys are having enough fun in the chat room that nobody gives a damn about who wins in the first place.
Exactly.
Hopefully at that point, we'll
Canada
then get
wins.
into the creator awards, and a whole bunch of people withdrew their nominations. But the problem is that I don't know who, okay? Like, so we're just going to announce, like, who picked who, and nobody cares in the first place. So it should be fine, okay? But
I will say this before we get into the Bourbon Awards, before we get into the Creator Awards, it goes without saying that anybody that was put in the category, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I personally know how much work it is to create content.
Yeah.
Dan, you know how hard it is to create content. So just because your name has not been put in the hat per se or voted on, anybody that does bourbon content, we thank you very much, because without you, Bourbon TikTok would not be here.
100%.
And it's hard work coming up with new content.
And like, there were people who legitimately make great content that nobody even nominated because there were so few judges, right? And there were so few.
We live and learn.
So little room for nominations. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's not until later on in the show tonight. But Matt, that's a great point. Such a great point. But the first category that we will be announcing the winner for, so the order is going to go, I'll announce a winner. Danielle will announce a finalist or a winner, and then Matt will, and then I will, and we're just going to do a round robin, okay? We had a much cooler plan, but we weren't able to fulfill that plan. So, the first category that we'll be announcing the winners for is Best Small or Craft Distillery. And the final four, in no particular order, were Chattanooga, Good Times, Redwood Empire, and Starlight. The fourth place ended up being Good Times. Third place was Chattanooga. And the winner, we're going to go from fourth, third to the winner.
Okay.
Is the one that I was hoping so strongly would win out of those four. And I want to tell you, if you have not had their bourbon, you need to. It is so damn good. The winner of the Best Small Craft Distillery is Starlight. Congratulations,
That's
Starlight.
impressive.
Starlight is a small Indiana distillery. They're a small Indiana distillery, but I'm telling you, their stuff is phenomenal. It is so good.
What's crazy is Bourbon TikTok, Whiskey Diz, and 5 or 6 other guys, they actually picked Starlight, and they said it's some of the best stuff that they picked. And I personally bought a bottle. It's not coming out yet, but I am stoked to try the Starlight. So I know Whiskey Diz is in here, and I know Basement Rickhouse was part of that.
Yes.
They said Starlight is upcoming, and it's good.
Yeah.
Starlight is so good. They are doing the right things. Yeah, so I'm glad Starlight won. No disrespect towards any of the other. Three Boys was another one that I was really pulling for.
So was I.
But
I was most shocked at. Okay, I'm not that shocked actually. I'm not a Tennessee whiskey fan at all, and Chattanooga to take third place. That's saying something, because they're putting out some great stuff right now.
I'm not a fan.
I know you're not. But there's a few bottles out of Chattanooga that I'm very impressed with. I love their bottle and bond. It's good. I like their cask strength. It's great. But to see them make third place, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And in a California distillery ended up second.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy is I just did, I have a picture I sent Danielle actually. I just reviewed all of Redwood Empire, including their 2 new releases. The night the Dodgers won 11-2, which I don't know the score, so someone please give me the score of the Dodger game. And Redwood Empire is really, really good. They're cheap. They're very cheap. Their allocated bottles this year are a little pricey, but really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I was impressed for a California distillery, because I am a Kentucky bourbon lover at heart.
Yeah.
And in my own state, they're pretty damn good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Braves are up 4-1. Not good for the Dodgers. Right. I predict the Braves are going to win this.
Oh, yeah. So let's move along to best mid-sized distillery, Danielle.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so the top 4 in no particular order: Rabbit Hole, Old Elk, Lux Row, and High West. And the number 4th place was High West. 3rd place, Old Elk, and I'll do what Dan did. In 1st place, Lux Row. So there you go. Way to go, Lux Row.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Super impressed. I was super surprised by that one, actually.
So I was too. And not only that, but like I was super impressed by how close the scores were in that one.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't really think we should announce them on anything, but just know, listeners, that those top 4 all were very close to one another in their final score.
Yeah.
One person rating High West as their very favorite instead of their 3rd or 4th favorite would have changed things dramatically.
Yes.
So.
Okay.
I'm surprised Old Elk made it to 3rd place. I'm not saying that they're bad at all. For Colorado to step in there and Utah to step in there, it's pretty impressive. High West is out of Utah, Park City.
Yep.
And you got Old Elk out of Colorado, Rabbit Hole out of Louisville, Kentucky, and Lux Row is in, I know it's in Kentucky. Is it Bardstown?
No, Lux Row.
Yeah, it's in Bardstown.
Lux Row is Bardstown. I'm sorry. I was thinking Rabbit Hole.
Yeah, it's Bardstown.
Rabbit Hole is Louisville.
I've been to Lux Row and Rabbit Hole, and Lux Row is doing something pretty special right now. That's for sure.
I haven't been to Lux Row yet.
It's very good.
Earlier this year or late last year, they got bought out by MGP, but MGP swore up and down that they're not going to change anything about like how Lux Row handles anything. But no, I'm on board with you as far as like High West and Old Elk being, a Colorado and a Utah distillery.
Yeah.
Both, and I think Connor Distills is in here. He's a distiller for High West. Great dude. And High West impresses me all the time. All of their stuff.
Yes.
Not just their top of the line stuff. Top to bottom, they make a great a great whiskey.
They really do. I agree.
And I think most people who have ever been with me live already know how much I love Old Elk.
Yes, you do love Old Elk.
I've
seen you talk about it on your lives.
Yep. Big fan of them. So, but congratulations, Lux Row. Here's a Lux Row product that was not intentional, but I'm drinking a Lux Row product tonight. Just by chance.
Yeah.
Just by chance. So,
all right, Matt.
Yeah, let's go, Matt. You're up.
Best large distillery, in no particular order. Old Forester, Heaven Hill, Buffalo Trace, and Maker's Mark. Coming in 4th place, Maker's Mark. 3rd place, Heaven Hill. They got 3rd place with the strike, which was impressive. And to follow suit with Danielle and Dan, I will say our 1st place winner, which is going to be controversial, will be Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
So that leaves Old Forester.
Yeah.
2nd place.
Yeah.
And I'm not disappointed by Old Forester making 2nd place by all. I'm a huge Old Forester fanboy.
Yeah, I mean, I think Old Forester should have been number one, but that was just my number one.
And and I'm not saying it should be, but I think Buffalo Trace probably gets more credit than they deserve because of the history of Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, they just
And
have so
Sazerac
much to
Company,
choose from.
well, and
There's so
Sazerac
much.
Company controls the market. They control
Yeah.
everything.
Best marketing on the planet is Sazerac. And I don't mean just in the whiskey business. I mean
Everything.
anything. I don't care if we're
Yeah.
talking about cars. I don't care if we're talking about cell phones, computers. I don't care. In my opinion, Sazerac does a better job. Their marketing department is better than anybody else's, in my personal opinion.
Wow.
Well, I mean, they fluctuate. They're the ones that determine price in secondary. They determine price for all other distilleries. That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Someone said the strike is over for Heaven Hill. Finally, I didn't hear that. Okay, that's great to hear.
Yeah, I haven't heard that either.
I haven't either.
I know they hired other people to run it, but I didn't know the union had settled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see here. Logan just said, if you knew the percentage of marketing per barrel size, Logan would know. He worked there for a while.
Yeah, I don't even. Their marketing dollars are way less. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, Logan. I'm saying that they do it better. I don't care how much money they put into it. Whoever they have handle it, in my opinion, does it better. And I'm not talking about Buffalo Trace themselves. I'm talking about Sazerac as a whole.
Yeah.
And I don't think that.
I don't think they have to. They're so big that people market for them.
And so their ability to feign low supply is what I think sets them apart. And they make amazing distillate. Their whiskey and their bourbon is awesome.
Yeah.
This is how big they are. Josh just said Sazerac family ended the strike at Heaven Hill. That's how much pull they have. I don't know if that's true or not, but if that's true, I mean, that just tells you how big they are.
Yeah. Yep. And again, to me, it's not about how much money they spend. It's that they're, Bassin in German. Josh said that was a joke. Okay.
Yeah, it was a joke. Okay. I thought so, Josh. I just want to make sure.
I was actually...
It just sounds believable.
It does sound a little believable.
I was actually going to make a joke that I reached out to Buffalo Trace to see if they wanted to accept be part of this since they were a finalist. And they said, well, yeah, just tell second, third, and fourth place that we appreciate their... Like, they assumed they were going to win anyway because they're Buffalo Trace. But yeah, I mean, and Buffalo Trace was the clear winner in that.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. So, but
second, third, and fourth were really close.
They were very close. First place was a distant first, though.
To be totally honest with you, I don't remember what I voted for in that. So, just FYI. I don't remember what I voted for in a lot of things.
Well, it's been 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point, so...
It has. That's true. It has been a while. I just really don't remember.
Well, let's move ahead to the best distillery to tour. And again, we're just going to keep this rotation of me, Danielle, then Matt. And in the best distillery to tour category, in no particular order, there was Buffalo Trace, there was Old Forester, there was Maker's Mark, and there was Heaven Hill. Those were the 4 finalists. Fourth place ended up being Heaven Hill. And in this particular one, I think that the strike did end up hurting them because we were in the middle of the strike when we were taking these, like when we were doing this judging. So I do think that it hurt them pretty hard during this particular voting category.
I agree.
In third place, there was Old Forester. Old Forester took third place in Best Distillery to Tour. And in first place was Maker's Mark. I don't think that surprises anybody. Their tours are exceptional. And with them opening up that like lakefront area, I think that was a boost for them as well. So I want to give a huge congratulations to Maker's Mark. You guys did a great Makers. I know nobody from Makers is joining us, but if they were, I would want them to know that they've done a great job.
And
that, of
Laura's
course,
here. That's a good representation.
Yeah, there
she
you
can
go.
represent us. She can
Makers,
accept their award for them.
Makers' ground is absolutely phenomenal. Their 46 cave room is amazing. Their tour is good. Their juice is good. It's funny because the day I went to go tour them, I ran into Danielle and Allie out of nowhere. We didn't even know each other were going there.
No kidding.
Crazy. Oh yeah.
And we did the same tour together, and we had so much fun.
Oh, it was so fun.
That is too cool.
It was crazy. We walked in, and I was like, "What are you guys doing here? What time is your tour?" And we were like on the same tour. It was wild. Yeah.
Buffalo Trace to take second. I would say Buffalo Trace has the most history to offer out of all of them.
Very cool.
Old Forester was one of my personal favorites when I went to Louisville this last year. It was their tour is excellent.
Awesome.
Heaven Hills tour. I'll agree with the fourth place.
I think so too. That should be my award. Best tour guide.
Yeah, Danielle was a better tour guide than our tour guide for 100%.
Okay. What's the next one? Oh, that was that one. Oh, so then it's my turn?
It is.
Yep.
Yes. It is my turn. So that was just the tour, right?
Yeah, you're up best upcoming.
Best up and coming distillery. In no particular order. Starlight, Chattanooga, Rabbit Hole, and New Riff. Okay. Fourth place, New Riff. Third place, Chattanooga. And first place, Rabbit Hole. That was a good one.
I agree.
Probably, I don't know. I think it's between Rabbit Hole and Starlight. I mean, it was pretty close.
I would say I've never been to Starlight, but to go to Rabbit Hole, they're so new. They have no history, but they have all the technology. They're doing something that no one's doing, and their juice isn't the best in my opinion, but it's definitely good. It's not bad at all, but their facility was pretty remarkable.
You know, I
have never been to Starlight.
I really think that Rabbit Hole's emphasis on TikTok benefited them greatly in this.
100% agree.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm seeing some of the comments, and they're saying free bottles for everyone.
Yeah. Exactly. I
so
think,
maybe Rabbit Hole is in here.
Well, maybe they are. I don't know.
I don't know.
I would love to go to Starlight. I've heard nothing but great things from Starlight.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, again, this is the up-and-coming distillery, so the one to keep an eye out for their juice. Like, I did not vote. I didn't vote in any of the final judging. My votes were reserved for a tiebreaker if they occurred for first place, and that didn't happen. Okay. But I can tell you that had I voted, this category specifically would have been very much different because Rabbit Hole would have finished much lower. They would have had basically an additional 7 points. Starlight would have been number one because they would have only had 1 point.
And I would probably deserve it.
Yeah.
But that's not to take away anything from Rabbit Hole, Starlight, Chattanooga, or New Riff. It's really just to say that I think that Rabbit Hole, their TikTok marketing scheme, I think that it really benefited them in this particular category. They're doing a great job.
And here we are again. Third place. Chattanooga Whiskey's back in the category.
Yep.
They're doing something over there. They're doing something.
Oh, they for sure are. They for sure are.
They're doing something.
All right, so the next category is Best Permanent New Bourbon Release. in no particular order, Penelope, the Toasted Series, Benchmark Foolproof, Old Forester 117, and Old Elk Weeded Whiskey. In fourth place, Old Elk Weeded Whiskey. In third place, Penelope Toasted Series, which I have not yet to try. And in first place, Old Forester 117. And they know how to market that bottle.
Yes,
So that leaves Benchmark Foolproof as number 2. So yeah, the 117 series is by far a great bottle.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And I think that Old Forester 117, Old Forester 117 finished easily in fourth
Oh yeah,
place.
easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
And it was well deserved.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Great.
It is a remarkable bottle what they're doing, and it's going to be around for a long time. I mean, they sell out within 2 days easily, and that's because they don't release it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good
That's
stuff.
exactly right. All right, so let's move along to the best special or limited edition. And folks that follow me on and go live with me on a regular basis, they can tell how little I had involved in these rankings based on this. Because Maker's Mark 46 cask strength is nowhere on here, right? That would have been my number one over time and time again, and it's not even listed.
Yeah.
So clearly I was not very involved in this process. But in no particular order, there was Old Forester 150, Russell's Reserve 13, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Rye, and Maker's Mark FAE 01. In fourth place, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Rye. Third place was Maker's Mark FAE 01. And the winner of the best special or limited edition was Russell's Reserve 13. That is a special bottle.
Clear winner.
Bottle, clear winner.
Yeah.
So easily. And Old Forester 150 came in second place, obviously. We did not specify a particular batch of the Old Forester 150. We just looked at it as a whole. But Russell's Reserve 13 was a very, very, very special release. Don't know how long it will be until we see another.
That's what I'm drinking right now.
Is it really?
You are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good for you.
It's good.
Good for you.
It's going to win Whiskey of the Year, in my opinion.
Did it?
I don't know. I think it's going to.
That yet. You guys have the results
right? Oh, okay. Oh, I haven't looked.
I'm looking at as it goes.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't cheated. I don't know anything. I did not look at all. I printed it out 5 minutes before we started, and I did not look.
I know. I didn't want to either. Okay.
I mean, I'm a spectator just as well. I'm just here to help you out.
Me too. That's what part of the thing I'm surprised about. I don't look ahead. I only look at what
Whiskey Diz. I do agree with Whiskey Diz. Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Rye. I think it would have been up higher. I don't see how Maker's Mark FE01 beat Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye. Maker's Mark, I'm a big fan of Maker's Mark.
It beat it by
but
one.
But I mean, I'm a big Maker's Mark fan, and Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye is by far way better. Way better, hands down.
So of the three,
and I don't like Jack Daniel's.
Of the three releases of the barrel series from Maker's Mark, RC6, SE5,
PR5,
SE4 PR5, and FAE01. I haven't tried the O2 yet. FAE01 is easily the worst. It's
easily.
Compare it.
I agree.
SE4 and SE4 PR5 and RC6.
It was better.
FAE01 is way lacking.
I hear FA01 or 02 is much better. That's what I've heard.
I would hope
I can't wait to try it.
Yeah. But the barrel proof rye, I agree. I think that the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye was much better. I would agree.
Yeah. RC6 is probably the best they've done. Yeah, I agree with that statement as well.
I prefer the 2020 SE4 PR5.
Okay.
But they're both great, in my opinion. FAE01 is not, in my opinion. But anyway.
Right.
So that's how it ended up. But in any case, Russell's Reserve 13, they won, and I think that they deserved it. And they did a great
100%.
Imagine that.
Danielle, you're up.
I know. I'm looking at something. So what's here is the way it's supposed to be, right? On the list.
I think so.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? Because there was a correction that was made, like in the email that one time, and then
yes,
I'm just making sure.
Yes,
this is the correct version.
This is the correct version.
Okay, I'm making sure. Okay, good.
No, great question.
Thank you. I don't want to screw it up, man. All right, best bourbon, $20 or under, in no particular order. Heaven Hill 6-year green label, Evan Williams bottled and bond. Old Forester 86 proof, and oh gosh, Benchmark full proof. Did I say that one?
You did.
Yeah, you got it. You're good.
I got him. Okay, 4th place, Old Forester 86 proof. 3rd place, Heaven Hill 6-year green label, and 1st place, Evan Williams bottled and bond. Benchmark full proof was 2nd.
I agree with that.
I mean, that is what it is. Yeah, I was surprised.
Well, here's the problem with Heaven Hill 6-year is not everybody can get that.
Correct.
That's true.
Yep.
Yes.
Everyone can get Evan Williams bottle and bond.
But I personally like the full proof more than Evan Williams bottle and bond.
Not everybody can get the full proof.
That's true too.
Yes, it is.
So, I mean, we're basing this off of availability.
Availability, yeah.
And Evan Williams bottle and bond, anyone can walk into any liquor store and pick up Evan Williams bottle and bond.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, living in Kentucky, you can't even get Heaven Hill 6-year unless you know where it's at.
Right.
Yes.
Same with Benchmark Full Proof. You've got to be in Indiana or know a place in Kentucky that carries it.
Do you know there are stores in Kentucky selling it for $54, the green label?
I know a few places where you can find it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Old Forester 86 doesn't surprise me. 4th place, you can get that anywhere, anytime, and it's good. So I'm not upset about this one, not at all.
I'm not upset. No.
Right. We'll go to the next category. $21 to $39. Best bourbon, $21 to $39. In no particular order. Eagle Rare, Russell's Reserve 10-year, Buffalo Trace, and Maker's Mark 46. This one was very close. In 4th place, Buffalo Trace. Mm-hmm. In 3rd place, Maker's Mark 46. And in 1st place, which I tell everybody that asks me what bourbon they should have on their bar, Eagle Rare 10-year won 1st place. It's a must bottle to have on your bar for under $40. Mm-hmm. Russell Reserve 10-year came in 2nd. And I would say that's probably for a Blanton's killer. That one's probably more readily available than Blanton's, and for half the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I was really shocked that Elijah Craig didn't finish better, personally.
Yeah.
I am too. Elijah Craig small batch is excellent.
It is.
And as far like we as a group didn't know how to handle Eagle Rare to begin with. Okay? Because do you look at the SRP? Do you look at the price that it's typically sold at? Right. Like, there's all of these factors that we didn't really know how to deal with. So we just kind of left it up there, right, and just went with the SRP. And that's something that I would change if we end up doing this again in the future, which I'm thinking strongly about doing that. With a bunch of changes, folks. With a bunch of changes, a bunch of improvements, everybody.
With Bourbon TikTok's blessing.
Seriously. Absolutely. With their input and their nominations and their judging, that's something I would change. I would change it to where we're not looking at the SRP. Eagle Rare would not be in the $21 to $39 category. It would be in probably the $50 to $69 category because
I don't know. You can get Eagle Rare here in California all day long for $28. All day long.
For how much?
34 at the tops.
No.
So if you buy 6 bottles, if I buy 6 bottles at my local grocery store, I can get it for $28. By itself, $32.
But
no, not here.
How easily can you find it though?
I can go pick it up tomorrow.
Can you really? Okay. So if you care to hear the way I would address this in the future, everybody knows drizzly.com.
Yes.
So you go to drizzly.com without entering in your address. You type in the bottle number, and the lowest price they show it listed as, that's the price that we would use. I
got you.
That way it's countrywide, right? Like you can find Eagle Rare on the shelf. I can't. I have to ask a favor.
Well, it's crazy. When I go to Kentucky, people are like, I can't get it here. I'm like, are you serious? It's $80 a bottle there. Yeah. You're out of your mind.
Yeah. And that's a lot of places. And just to because state by state varies so broadly.
It does.
Use a national website like Drizzly and figure out what they listed at as their lowest price, and there you go. But in any case, congratulations to Eagle Rare.
Yes.
And really, Russell's Reserve 10, Maker's Mark 46, Buffalo Trace, like this whole category you can't go wrong with at that price.
Well, it's like when I tell people, ask me all the time, what bottles should I have in my bar? I go with 3 bottles. Eagle Rare, Buffalo Trace, Wild Turkey 101. Two of those that I say need to be on your bar at all times are in there. Yeah. So that just validates what I'm saying. And I know we only had 10 judges, but let's just be honest. I think if we had 100 judges, it might not be that far off.
Given the criteria that we worked with, I agree 100%. Yeah.
All right, you're up.
All right, let's move on to Best Bourbon, $40 to $59.
Yes.
Once again, in no particular order, we're going to go with Heaven Hill Bottled in Bond, Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, Wild Turkey Rare Breed, and E.H. Taylor Small Batch. 4th place was Wild Turkey Rare Breed. 3rd place was Heaven Hill Bottled in Bond. And the winner of the Best Bourbon, $40 to $59, was, in a landslide, E.H. Taylor Small Batch.
Yes, landslide.
And once again,
I agree.
This was another one that we had issues with as far as like, where do we fit it as far as price goes?
Yeah.
Right.
Let me rephrase that. I had a really hard time how I should categorize it, essentially. But truth be told, if you have the opportunity to buy E.H. Taylor Small Batch for $40 to $59, it is easily the best out of the group. Easily.
Yes.
I would say this. If you have a chance to spend $50 on an E.H. Taylor Small Batch and $100 on E.H. Taylor Single Barrel, I would take the Small Batch because it's not far off from the Single Barrel. Is Single Barrel better? Some bottles, yes, but not all bottles.
Sometimes, but not all. Very true.
Yeah.
The small batch is
very,
you know what
very
you're gonna
consistent.
Get. You know what you're going to get.
Yes.
And it's always really good. Some of
Oh,
those
shit.
It
E.H.
is.
Taylor single barrels are not that great. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
I've had a bad single barrel, and I've had a very good single barrel. Not just E.H. Taylor. In anything you're drinking, there's
Yeah.
good single barrels and there's bad single barrels. That's the nature of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
E.H. Taylor small batch, it's I know Randy Brownwater Wade have been happy with this one because I think E.H. Taylor small batch won his bottle and bond bracket, which he didn't think it would make it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it won it.
Yep.
Danielle, you're up on the next one, which I'm excited for this next one.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
Best bourbon between $60 and $79 in no particular order. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, Weller Antique 107, Old Forester 1910, and Old Forester 1920. In fourth place, Old Forester 1910. In third place, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. And in first place, Weller Antique 107.
All day.
1920
All
was
day.
in second place.
I mean, it was a landslide, folks. A landslide.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest landslide.
It is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
It didn't get, like, it doesn't have the lowest overall number, if you will.
Right.
But there's the biggest space between it and second place on this one.
Yes.
Pretty much everybody.
Biggest. I mean, Old Forester's doing something right. They got two in the category.
Oh yeah.
Those bourbons
19.
are two of my top favorites.
I agree. I mean, I love the 1920. I've been a big fan of the 1920. And the 1910 is right there. I like to make a 50-50 and make a 1915.
Yeah.
Yes, it's phenomenal.
Yep.
And the E.H. Taylor, I mean, the Elijah Craig barrel proof. To me, it depends on which barrel proof you're getting.
Yeah.
There's some really good barrel proofs, and there's ones that are okay.
And they just vary. So they've got the same label on them, but there is all of the B521s taste identical. All of the A121s taste identical. C921s, again, they taste identical. But between C921 and B521, they vary hugely. They're nothing alike.
You could do a blind and they're going to be completely different.
Absolutely. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and that's the same way for the 20s, the 19s, etc. But they do always make a good product.
Yes.
And so this is the category I probably look forward to. I looked at this category 80 and more.
Yeah.
Are we considering this best bourbon?
Nope.
Okay.
Not best bourbon for the price? Oh, this is for the price.
Well, no, this is
$80 and more.
This is the super high end. This is the super high end category.
The best of $80 or more.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So I'm just going to start at 8th place on this one. Okay. We have Yellowstone Limited Edition. 7th place, Old Fitzgerald Bottled and Bonded Decanter Series. I don't know which year we're talking about, but we're going to say that's 7th place. 6th place is Michter's 10-year bourbon. I hope I said that right because I don't want to get yelled at by Allie.
For once you did. For once you did say
I know. I practiced in the mirror all day for that one. 5th place, which I would rate this much higher, is Blanton Straight from the Barrel. 4th place is George T. Stagg, which you can't even get this year.
Right.
3rd place, Pappy Van Winkle, 15-year. And 2nd place, one of my personal favorites, E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. And the winner of $80 and more is William Lou Weller. Hands down, easy pick.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Dan Pappy got 3rd.
Yeah. It was WLW killed it.
It was a landslide.
That was a really big gap.
I don't know if everyone has tried Blanton straight from the barrel. I personally did not like my bottle when I first opened it. And then when I did my high proof bracket of 80 and more, Blanton straight from the barrel killed it. It was so good. I didn't know how good it was until I got into the finals. And it was a clear-cut winner. I knew right off the bat when I tasted it, it was straight from the barrel. And it went up against E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof because I wasn't going to open my William Llewellyn. That would have won. But Blanton straight from the barrel is really good. To me, that should have been higher.
Yeah,
but that's just my own personal taste. If
I was personally rating these, again, we just looked at Old Fitz, the Bottled and Bond series,
the series,
not an individual one. I would probably have gone, honest to God, Old Fitz number 1, Pappy 2, Yellowstone 3, William LaRue Weller 4. Now, if we're looking at a specific year, maybe that's different.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you, I've tried the Old Fitz 16, and if we were going Old Fitz 16, that would have gone higher on the list for sure because Old Fitz 16 gives everything that Buffalo Trace has in their collection a run for their money. And it's only 100 proof. And it gives them a run for their money. It would have been in the top 4 for sure.
Yeah, but, once again, we're talking about individual. This was like Matt's individual preference versus Danielle's individual preference versus Allie's, so on and so forth. And we all have our personal palates, right?
I know.
And they're all
like when he was talking, I'm like, that's so wild to me that I taste the Barnyard and he loves it.
I think everything is up to, like we all know, everybody's palate's different. And this is what
all of it.
So this is what I want to say before we get into the hottest topic of bourbon TikTok in 2021. For everybody that's in here, we've all preached this, that every bourbon has a different taste for everyone's palate. Everyone's palate is not the same.
Yes.
For this video series that Dan worked so hard on, for people that got upset, I will say this. Not everybody's content and everybody's idea is the same as your palate is towards bourbon. And that may come off wrong, but we joined this community for bourbon. We did not join this community for drama or for hurtness or for hate. We joined it for strictly bourbon. And Dan's palate was just a little bit different than everyone else's palate when he made this video. So this video, these most underrated bourbon creator, the creator of the year, it's simply to give kudos to those who've worked their butt off. And it's not a popularity contest because honestly, I didn't vote for anyone that I know. It's not a clique contest because I don't belong to a clique. I love everyone. I'm friends with people who aren't friends with other people. I try to be friends with everyone and give everyone an equal shot. And that's what Dan was trying to do here. And that's why I'm here. I believed in what Dan was doing. And that's why I'm passionate about it. Because Dan, I think you were on the right path. You may have not drank the right bourbon that night, but you had the right idea.
Well, I appreciate that, Matt. I appreciate it. We do have 2 more bourbon categories before we get to those. So, Matt, I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, brother. So, we're going to go to the most underrated bourbon. And do we want to reverse order? Because you two were actually set to present these, if memory serves, or do we want to keep on? Or do we want to keep going? Dan, Danielle, Matt.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. It does not hurt my feelings any which way. You're the maestro of this. You pick how you want to.
Yeah. Do you
Okay.
want us to do it like that, and then you announce what the content creator categories?
Yeah. Why don't you two?
That's fine.
If there's
I have
flack,
no. It doesn't matter
if
to
there's
me.
any flack, I don't want you two to get it. So, Matt,
Okay.
why don't
I
you
don't care either way.
Matt, why don't you do?
I really don't care.
Matt, why don't you do most underrated? Danielle, you do bourbon of the year for the price, and then I'll
Okay.
do
Sounds
all
good.
of the creator ones. Just in case.
Excellent.
That sounds fun.
Okay.
Most underrated bourbon, with 6th place, Larceny. With 5th place, Evan Williams, 1783. 4th place, Wild Turkey 101. 3rd place, Rebel Yell 100. I'm pretty proud of that one. It's actually a tie between Rebel Yell 100 and Old Granddad 114. They both took 2nd or 3rd place, however you want to take it, same score.
Yeah.
With the winner, easily, is Danielle's baby, Heaven Hill 6-year.
Yes.
And it is very good. I would say it is.
Yes.
It is amazing. It's a great bottle for $20.
I mean,
And at
it's
the right
supposed to be less. But
At the right spot, you can find it for $12. And
yes.
Yeah, I mean,
at $12,
Yes.
it kills.
For sure.
and I'm not upset at any one of those. They're all good, in my opinion. They're all underrated.
Yep. And somebody in the comment section, you mentioned Mellow Corn. If you know me, you know I always keep a bottle of it close. Mellow Corn was not included because we were really trying to focus specifically on bourbon. With this being the first year of this, we didn't want to get into rye and corn whiskeys because that would just be too much work if we're going to be honest with each other.
I mean, not just that, all the drama that it started. I mean, I think it started even more. We might have shut Bourbon TikTok down.
Possibly.
It could have. Real fact.
Especially the way, I mean, with the way people are passionate about Mellow Corn, like, that's a realistic possibility. So, but that's the reason it wasn't included. And Mr. Clean, no, we will never include Screwball or Fireball. You can go.
I agree, 100%. All right, Danielle, you're up.
All right, got it. Bourbon of the year for the price, and I'll do what Matt did. 8th place, Evan Williams, Bottled and Bond. 7th, Eagle Rare. 6th, Old Forester 117. 5th place, Heaven Hill 6-year Green Label. 4th place, Russell's Reserve 13-year. 3rd place, William Weller. 2nd place, E.H. Taylor Small Batch. And in 1st place, Weller Antique 107.
I mean, for the price.
Yep.
I mean, that was an easy one.
Yeah. And that was a really big gap too between 1st and 2nd place. It won that heartily.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big gap. Some of those are really easy to get, and some of those are really hard to get.
Exactly. And so for the folks listening at home, what this was we took the winners of each of the other bourbon categories and said, okay, this bottle won the under $20, this bottle won 21 to 39, and we did that across all of them. I took all of those winners and put them into a category amongst themselves to say, okay, for the price, which of those other winners is the best? And and Antique 107 killed it. And
it did.
And
I would be willing to bet if. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm not one of those people. Like, I'm not a supporter of the secondary market. I don't give other people who are a hard time. You worked for that money. You earned it yourself. You do what the hell you want to do with that money.
Yeah.
Not my call.
Right.
But I don't personally participate in the secondary market in any way, shape, or form. But I do regularly say, if any bourbon on the market is worth secondary prices, it's Antique 107.
It's a great bourbon.
I would say it's probably the most attainable unicorn juice that you can get for your money. It's a very easy one to get if you can find. I mean, not everyone can find it, but It's so damn good.
It is.
I mean,
So good.
I think it's the best Weller lineup out of all of them.
You think that's your favorite Weller?
I would put that one. Oh, so the way I rank Weller, I
Yeah.
put 107. I
Okay.
put Foolproof. I put Weller 12. And the reason why I put Weller 12 third is because some Weller 12s are not as good as other Weller 12s.
Okay.
And then I put CYPB, and I've never tried single barrel, but I'm assuming it's better than Special Reserve. So that's why I put it lower.
Really is.
I've never had it. I mean, I
Yeah.
own it. I just have never opened it. So
Oh,
that's on me.
Yeah,
And I've heard that, Dan. I've heard a lot of people
better
say
than
single
it's
barrels
better than
blah.
SR. It's way
Yeah.
better
It has
than
to be.
SR. Yeah.
So, Matt, my only difference between my ranking of Weller products and yours is that I would flip flop 12 and CYPB. For me, it goes 107.
And
I go 107 Foolproof, CYPB 12 single barrel Special Reserve.
And
Oh,
I don't disagree
12
with that.
and
CYPB is good.
For
Go ahead, Danielle. Let's hear yours.
Oh, 12, 107, Foolproof, single barrel SR. I mean, I haven't had CYPB, so I don't know.
Yeah. I would, and I think all of our rankings would be really, really close. I mean, let's be honest. You get a good 12 year, you get a good store pick, Foolproof, you get a good single or a store pick 107, or even if you just don't do store picks and you do the way it is,
Yeah,
the numbers aren't going to be huge gaps.
Mhm.
it's true. They're really good.
They're
You're
not.
right.
But like my brother-in-law has the best bottle of 12 year I've ever tasted in my life.
Oh, I
And
can't
if I
imagine.
could, and if I could get that bottle would be up in the number one area because
Yeah.
I've never been able to find that taste out of a 12 year ever again.
Gosh,
Wow.
now I'm nervous. I don't want to drink all of my 12 year because I feel the same way about that one.
Some 12 year is better than others, and I don't know what it is. I don't know the process. That's something we'd have to ask Logan or someone who knows the process, but
Yeah.
it's really, really good. This next category is all up to you, and I don't know if you want to talk about it or not.
I do. Yeah. So we're about to get into the Content Creator Awards, and I hope you all will stick around. Okay. If you don't, I recognize that. I understand it. But we're about to get into that content, and I want everybody to really please understand that at no point was it never crossed my mind that somebody's feelings could get hurt. And I'm not saying that you're at fault. I'm saying that I'm at fault. It never crossed my mind that that was a reasonable possibility. Okay. And I'm not going to apologize.
I'm laughing because I saw someone's comment. I'm an island boy. If anybody has seen that video, we are not friends anymore. It's terrible. It's terrible. I'm sorry.
Okay. But one of the things Matt mentioned earlier is exactly one of the things that I wanted to bring up. Matt mentioned that when it comes to bourbon, everybody has a different palate. Okay. And that really plays a huge part when it comes into the content creator category. Some people prefer like comedy TikTok.
Right.
Some people prefer creative content. Some prefer informative. Some prefer dry. It's all different. And I do think it's important that we recognize TikTok creators. And no, we did not open it up to enough nominations. No, we did not open it up to enough judges. However, this, like, I guarantee you, if a month and a half ago somebody had said, let's do TikTok awards, somebody else, whoever heard that, would have said, are you fucking kidding me? How on earth are we going to do that? Okay?
Right.
But
You're
we tried
the first.
it. We tried it.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody thought of it before, but they're smarter than us and said, oh, that's going to be a disaster. Maybe that's a reasonable possibility. But we tried it, okay? And I still think that this has some potential. And if you're one of the folks that got your feelings hurt, then I do apologize. But that was never the intent. That was never the on purpose. And I'm not going to apologize anymore. It is what it is.
I don't think you need to.
It is what it is.
Your heart was in the right spot.
It 100% was. And and eventually folks that may not believe that, they'll understand that that's the truth at some point. I trust that.
Yeah.
Without further ado, we're just going to go straight in order. Male bourbon TikTok content creator, underrated male, female, and underrated female. And nobody's going to join us, okay? Earlier, it was said, please, if you be available to join us. We're not going to do that because so many people dropped out and didn't want to be nominated in the first place.
Yeah.
So we're just going to announce the way things ended up. For best male bourbon TikTok content creator, in no particular order, those nominees were That Vintage Whiskey Dude, Basement Rickhouse, 60-Second Bourbon Review, and Whiskey Diz. In fourth place is Steve, 60-Second Bourbon Review, the godfather of bourbon
TikTok.
On TikTok.
Yes.
The godfather. Third place was Whiskey Diz. Second place was That Vintage Whiskey Dude. And leaving first place, Logan from Basement Rickhouse. Logan, everybody, God, there is so much great content on bourbon TikTok.
God, yeah.
I would say, I don't care if you put 60,000 voters. I'm going to say Basement Rickhouse deserves to be that number one because the amount of time that he spent on his bar, the amount of knowledge that he has, the amount of heart that he has, and the history that he knows is 100% well-deserved no matter who votes.
Absolutely.
He is by far in my number one, 100%.
I don't remember who it was I was talking to. I don't know if it was you, Danielle, or if it was Allie, but I was talking about Logan's content and how, I dissected some of it.
Yes, you were telling me.
That was you? I thought so.
Reading, yeah.
So, Logan, one of the things I know you were in here just a little bit ago. He's
still here.
Okay, good. One of the things I looked at your videos, your content, and I recognized that, and I hope I'm not sharing something I shouldn't. I recognize that you're reading a script, but you do such an amazing job of making it appear that you're not reading a script. And I was just like, that's one of the things that sets his content apart from others. That aspect, that detail of recognizing that I want it to feel natural, but I can't possibly remember all of this stuff. And I just wanted, that was one of the many things that sets your content apart for me personally. Again, I didn't vote, so really that's where it ends, is that I didn't vote.
Right.
But that's one.
I think even if you would have voted, he would have still won first place.
No question about it.
I think it's a unanimous sort of thing. It was a pretty big. he does good work.
Yeah,
I think a lot. Of people would have voted.
He won very easily.
Yes.
And
I don't know how Whiskey Diz even made third place. I mean, I can't stand the guy's content. If he's not first, you're last. He by far is last. Kent, you do great. Kent, you do great work. I love everything that you do. You are a huge heart in the bourbon community. You make people laugh. Your Meal Mondays are amazing. You're always the first to help people find a bottle. Kevin, that vintage whiskey dude, there is no one on bourbon TikTok that drinks more dusty bottles than you.
I know.
And I think we're all jealous. We're all a little bit jealous deep down. I know I am. His production is amazing. His camera, his intro, everything is amazing.
Yep.
And I love that he wears a hat from everybody that he gets stuff from.
Yeah.
That's his signature move. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And Uncle Steve, we all joined Bourbon TikTok because we saw this old man who had a voice and had knowledge and could talk to anyone, anytime, anywhere about history. And I don't care if you don't like him or you do, his content is great. He's what made us jump on here.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if Bourbon TikTok voted or not. Well, at least we're paying tribute to those four guys that are on here. We're paying tribute to them in some way or form, and that's all that matters to me. Is I'm just glad they're getting some recognition for all their hard work.
Yep. Wholeheartedly.
Everybody in that whole thing was great, all the way down to 8th place. I think they're all good.
100%.
Like I said before, and like I hope by now anybody that's listening realizes like that Dan's not the douche that he portrays in the content that I put out. Like, I mean this when I say it, that like there's so much great content that people are putting out on Bourbon TikTok.
Amazing content.
And it varies from person to person, and like trying to it's hard, but I do think it's important to recognize the folks that that take it a step further, if you will. Okay, so but I again, I love everybody.
Allie makes a very great point. She just said we're giving kudos to Logan, but let's not forget Logan would not be the man he is without his wife Mac. She is just as smart, and she's beautiful, and she has a huge heart, and she opens her home up to anyone to come in her house and drink bourbon with her as long as you like bourbon. She is amazing. So I'm sorry, Mac, if you're listening, we congratulate you as well.
That's a great point. In Basement Rickhouse, they actually
they're a team
in both male and female. Okay. The female didn't go as far, but I think that part of that's because I really think that part of that's because they were going to do so well in one category that so but anyway, no, Allie is 100% correct. 100% correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so
all right, let's go on to the next one.
Moving on to the next one, we are going to move on to the most underrated male bourbon TikTok content creator, and I'll put it out there that these are probably the underrated male and underrated female are probably where I made my personal biggest error. I probably should have done more to try to make sure that there was not overlap between the two, but I didn't want to get myself too involved, honestly. And here's an interesting one, because if you've been listening tonight, I mentioned that I did not vote. I was not a judge in this round. My votes were reserved for if there was a tie for first place. However, when it came to content creator, I didn't feel it was appropriate for me to even cast a tie-breaking vote. So there is a tie for first place.
It's a great tie.
It is.
It's a great tie.
Yep.
It's a great tie. I actually think first, second, third are all first place in my opinion.
I mean, I don't know why fourth place is even in the
I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree.
Kick him out. We're gonna
100%. And before, and it's going to be rigged from the get-go, and I'll explain this later, but go ahead.
All right, so I'm not going to go through who the four finalists were. I'm just going to go 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, 4, 3, 1, 1, actually.
Yeah.
All right, so in the most underrated male bourbon TikTok content creator, fourth place was The Recovery Room. Congratulations, Matt.
Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you. But with that being said, I don't produce much content. I'm a live person. I'm on live a lot. Do I do some content? Yes, I do bourbon brackets, and I don't really do whiskey reviews. I might do a couple Taster Tuesdays because I like to pass the tradition of Hayden on, but I'm a live guy, so maybe if we do this again, we might need to do a live section if we do something like that. But I'm honored to be I'm honored to be mentioned amongst some of these giants in here.
Yes.
8th through 1st, there's a lot of giants. So I'm just honored to be a part of Bourbon TikTok, to be honest with you.
So funny.
Yes. So 4th place was Matt with the recovery room. 3rd place is Ice Cold Bourbon.
Hilarious.
Tied for 1st place is Whiskey Diz and Dad's Brown Water. Congratulations
100%
to Whiskey Diz and Dad's Brown Water.
Yes.
Again, I just want to reiterate that my full intentions were I'll cast the tie-breaking vote, but then when it came to a tie-breaking in content creator, I was like, I can't do that. That's not right. That's not appropriate.
I agree. I agree. Like I said, I think 1st, 2nd, and 3rd are all 1st place in my book, because if I don't go on Bourbon TikTok and see one of their 1st, 2nd, or 3rd place's name and see one of their videos, I'm disappointed. Like, they make me laugh daily.
It's so true.
So, and this goes back to the whole, like, we all have different palates, right? Like,
correct.
I know that there, like there's people who, I mean, Basement Rick House, the most informative TikTok channel you could ever imagine, right? There are people who have, like, their niche is whatever. But those two, their individual niches, I could never step into, right?
Right.
Like, I could not do that. That's not how my brain works. Yes, I can create a character. Like, I did stand-up comedy for 4 years, so I'm able to, like, create a character and, like, deliver material. But I could never do that, what they do. Like, I
can't even think about what they do.
Exactly. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've had people, like, DM me and be like, hey, could you, like, you should stitch this or duet this. And I'm like, that's not how my brain works.
Right.
And that's Whiskey Diz's thing. And then Kyle, with his, like, ability to, like, find stuff and turn it into bourbon stuff, like, it's just crazy.
Oh, he can turn anything into bourbon. Yeah. And Cole can make you laugh on your worst day. You could be pissed off and you see one of Cole's videos and you just start laughing.
Yep.
I mean, he's working on a car and all of a sudden he just starts clicking a damn wrench on a bumper and it just takes off and goes nuts.
Yep.
That to me was hilarious.
Oh yeah, he cracks me up. He knows he does. Like, I die laughing. As soon as I see his face, I'm just already laughing, and it's just his face.
Yeah.
Right there.
And now, if you guys have seen Ice Cold Bourbon, he's got a stash growing right now, and it's hilarious. I love
it. He does it on purpose. His comedic timing is amazing. Also,
perfect. Right, perfect. And and again, there are literally 1,000 other great underrated male bourbon TikTok creators. There really are.
100%.
Totally.
Yep.
So funny. God, he's so funny. Anyway.
All right. So we're gonna move.
Let's go to the best part of the night.
We're gonna move along to the best female bourbon TikTok content creator. Yes. The ladies of bourbon TikTok. What would we be without you? We would be nothing without you. Cheers to the ladies, and I mean that wholeheartedly.
Yes.
100%.
All my gals.
We're going to start in 4th place. 4th place. Danielle, it's you.
It was just an honor to be nominated. I have to say it because I'll never be able to say it again.
It's well deserved, sweetheart.
Thank you.
I agree wholeheartedly. Thanks. And we're just going to move along.
Just go.
Yep. 3rd place was Whiskey Chicken 0-0. Jana.
Yes, Jana.
Gotta love her.
Yes.
She's great.
Second place, Allie. Basic Bourbon
No
Biatch.
shock. Yep.
There she is.
She's definitely up there.
I love it.
In first place.
Congratulations.
First place, El Marie 9. You killed it.
Yep.
You killed it.
Killed it. Killed it.
Before
She killed it.
She did. Even before her
She's
2 million
she's
plus.
the leading lady. Leading lady.
Like,
El Marie's content is straight fire. Every time I see it.
Yes.
She has the ability to be both. Like she's sweet and she's kind.
Yes. Yes.
But she's funny and she just pulls all sorts of stuff.
She can be irreverent.
Exactly.
She is a natural. She's a natural.
Yes. And it's short. They're usually really short and they keep your attention, and you know what I mean? And she gets everything. She can condense and make a really powerful impact in a very short amount of time. And she does that so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
El Marie, hands down, was the clear winner in this one for me.
Oh, yeah.
And she, like, and again, there are some amazing female TikTok content creators. But one thing that kept crossing my mind, and again, I didn't vote, but of course I'm thinking deeply about each of these as they're so the look of pure joy on her face when she's dipping her 2+ million Maker's Mark video, when she's dumping the bottle in the wax. It was pure, absolute joy and happiness on her face.
It was.
And you can't watch that without feeling the happiness that she's feeling while she's doing that. And
just for El Marie.
Oh, that's good. I should chug too. Let me get mine.
Well, I'm not going to chug, but I might.
No, I'm not going to chug. I'm going to sip.
Okay, I'll sip it then.
But yeah, that's one of the things that, in my opinion, set her apart, is just that absolute, like, you can feel her emotions in many of the videos. So, no, Dan, I'm not going to chug. I'm not going to do it. I still hope to go upstairs and sleep in bed with my wife. If I start chugging, that's going to happen. I will be sleeping on my futon. All right, let's move ahead to the last category of the evening.
Yes.
I do want to say that folks that are joining us, I want to say thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart. Honestly, we've gone from about 70 to 75 viewers throughout the entire rest of the night to where we're still at 66. So thanks for sticking around, even though there was a lot of disagreement about even having these categories. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for giving us a chance. And again, this is going to be the last category of the night. And then I don't know what we're going to do.
Alex.
Braves win 4-2, guys. Braves win. Congratulations,
Whoa.
Matt. No, they played a great game. Congratulations to Atlanta. I hope they win the World Series.
Killing me.
That's the way a fan should be, right there.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. They earned it.
Your team just got beat, but you're cheering for a good team.
I would love to see them win the World Series. Absolutely.
Ooh, I don't know.
I would be super disappointed if the Astros win, and that's not based
on
cheaters.
I'm not
on history.
I'm not voting. I'll never vote for or give a cheers to the Astros. They cheated their way to the World Series, so they're out of my book.
Yep. All right, folks. Let's finish up these categories, and then I don't know. Really, I have no plan for after this category. I don't know what we're gonna do after that. So, all right. So the most underrated female bourbon TikTok content creator. I don't know who withdrew, who didn't. So we're just going to go 4, 3, 2, 1 again.
Yeah.
Fourth place. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. I think I fucked it up in the promo video. But
I think you did.
It's Jill.
Jill.
we all know Jill. Jill Marzak.
Yes.
Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah.
Jill,
And she's great.
we love you. She joined me on my very first live, and she was my until tonight. She was the only person I had ever identified as a moderator because I didn't remember how to do it. My very first live, she showed me how to do it, and Jill is just amazing.
Aww.
I love her so much.
So much fun. I enjoy her content. She's just an amazing person. Absolutely adore her.
And the sweetest human being I think I might have ever met.
She's wonderful.
In third place was Basic Bourbon Biatch, Allie. Second place, that's you, Danielle.
I know. I can't believe second. That was the shocker for me, for sure.
In first place was Whiskey Chicken 00, Gianna. And, you know,
her content is fire lately.
I think it ends up being that, because you finished, Danielle, you finished so high in best content creator. I think that's part of where, the divergence became, right? Like you did such a great job in both categories that, Gianna took it. And there are some underrated ladies that need more views. They need more followers.
I would say
amazing thing.
I would say the women have made bourbon TikTok better because 100%. Men get very stagnant. They do the same crap over and over. Yet the women come in here and do something off the wall amazing. Jana is one of them. Danielle and Allie are one of them, and Jill. And there's a lot. Lovely Lauren's one of them. Yeah, there's so many. So many. I can't even name all of them because, like we say, there are so many. But I love watching all their content.
Incredible.
And the new ones are working their way up. And this is something I want to tell people is a lot of people said they didn't get to vote, and they didn't get to cast their vote, and they didn't get to say who they wanted to. But what we have to realize is FYP pages, maybe we don't all get to see all the new people yet. And with that being said, we've got a whole year to see everyone's content and the new people's. And everyone here is here to help everyone. The community is just amazing.
Each other up, you know?
And if
the women help each other, the men help the women, the women help the men. It's just great.
And I want to throw out there that if you weren't here earlier, I mentioned very, very early at the very beginning that I have the ability now. I couldn't have done this before. It was not a possibility before having gone through this month-long arduous task. But I learned so much in this month that I now have the ability to, honest to God, put it out to where everybody from Bourbon TikTok has the ability to shape the categories. Everybody in Bourbon TikTok has the ability to make nominations. Everybody has the ability, once those nominations are made, to judge. We can do that immediately if we choose to. I need folks to tell me, do we want to? Do we want to take a break? Because I'm willing to.
Can you make a link? How about do that? Make a link for people to vote if they want to be able to vote and if they want to have another.
If they want to roll right into it.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, just make a link for people to be able to say, yes, we do want to participate in this.
Yeah, I can just do a poll.
With one rule. The one rule is, here's the one rule. If you don't vote, you can't bitch and complain. If you want to bitch and complain, then cast a vote.
Yeah, and my thought is it would obviously just be a simple majority, right? It would just be a simple majority. I don't care if it's 500 people participate. If it's 251 to 249, 251 wins. Okay, and and here's the thing. One of the things that I really want people to understand is that in the last couple days, I've been accused of being a troll, that like this was going to benefit me, like I'm the only one that benefits and it's putting everybody else in. This is not going to come across, probably. If you choose to perceive this in a different way than I intend it, it's going to come off really bad. This last 2 weeks of preparing for this award show has really hurt my TikTok stuff.
Of course. It has, of course.
Like when you look at, and the reason I say it's going to look bad if you want it to, it's going to sound really bad. But if you listen to what I'm saying and listen to just the reality is that when I put out my normal content, I get 8,000 views on a video regularly. Like that's common. If I do a bourbon douche video, I get 500,000 views or 4 million views. Okay. I have done none of that because I've been preoccupied with this happily, very happily preoccupied with this. And I knew that was going to happen. That has, of course, reduced the number of views, the number of new followers, etc., etc. And I'm okay with that because I don't give a shit. My 30,000 followers, most of them are on a Pakistani hard drive somewhere. They're fucking bots, probably. I don't know.
Right.
But here's the thing. I want folks to know.
You make good content.
I don't know about that. I don't care about that. What I care about is that if Bourbon TikTok wants to do another round of this and do it to where everybody has a say, we can do it. I think it would be fun. I think it would be a lot of fun.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it's a way to pay tribute to people who work their ass off of putting content out there. And it's also a way to get knowledge out there about bourbon that people may not realize it is so good. I mean, everyone's going apeshit over E.H. Taylor. You could put dog piss in E.H. Taylor and put it in a tube and sell it for $1,000 on the secondary easily.
Oh,
but by us voting, it shows people what bourbon is good out there for the money. And if you're new to bourbon, that's a great way to find out what bourbon you might want to go out and buy.
Yeah. And you know, honest to God, that was one of the problems that was the first problem I encountered when trying to organize this, was like telling you guys, like, because again, you guys didn't know who each other were, like who else was involved at the point. But I was trying to say, like, I don't know what to do with these allocated bottles, because Eagle Rare, as great as it is at $32, at $50, it's kind of shit. It's kind of terrible when you're comparing it to other $50 bottles. I
totally get that. Right.
Yeah.
So I hate to like lift this one up when in reality it's so hard to find outside of Bakersfield, California, it seems.
Right.
There's people asking who the nominated creators are. We're going to leave that alone. You want to know nominated creators and the judge. I think we'll leave the judges alone. I think the creators we could talk about. People are asking if they can get the bourbon rankings again. I think maybe we make a video and leave it out there. I don't want to cause a war with people. Go on to Dan's Another Bourbon Show, and I'm sure he'll post a link or he'll post a video of who won and what won.
I'm actually going to download this replay and just upload the whole thing.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll just upload the whole night.
It's so cool that there is a place for everybody, like in the community. Like, there's no way my brain could have formulated what Dan put together.
I couldn't do it. No, I couldn't do it. I'm not smart enough to do it.
Even if I thought, hey, it would be cool if we had an award show, I would not have the capacity to try to throw that together. But that he was able to just proves that there's a function for everybody here.
He's with mommy.
And if we all like work together with that, it would be, you know what I mean? It would just be such a fluid, wonderful place. Everybody has something to bring to the table. And that's one of the coolest parts of Bourbon TikTok.
I agree 100%. I don't
Yeah.
think there's a misfit in bourbon TikTok because everyone accepts everyone.
You know,
Who said something about a misfit?
one of
Nobody. I'm just saying,
Oh.
if everyone's accepted,
Yeah.
everybody's giving
I
me
mean, as
does
shit
long
about
as you're
my
not.
clock. You sons of bitches, it's not out of batteries. When I built that clock myself, I put the wrong
Right.
mechanism in it because I didn't realize that the length of the hands required a high torque motor, and I haven't taken the time to replace the high torque the
Oh.
piddly ass motor with a high torque motor.
It
So
doesn't put
yeah,
out
and
the juice
nobody's
that it needs to.
so
It
don't
needs
yeah,
more
you just
juice.
don't have time.
don't
It
send
should
me
just say two
don't send me
o'clock. It should
don't send me
it should say
batteries. Send
just
me a
2
high
o'clock.
torque motor.
No, just put it at 2 o'clock and leave it there. That way you can always do
Yeah.
chugs.
2 o'clock chugs.
I work from home. I can do chugs whenever I want.
This is true.
No, but guys, I appreciate Danielle, Matt, what you guys just said. I really do. Yeah, but again, that's not what tonight was. That's not what
No,
tonight was
totally.
for.
But it is nice to that everybody, you know what I mean? Like there were winners and of this thing, of this award show, and I mean, but it wouldn't have happened if you hadn't taken all of the time to figure this all out. And in doing
Your
so,
time does not go unnoticed.
yes, and in doing so, you figured out a way. You it you learn so much in the process that you figured out a way for everybody to be involved. And I that can't go unnoticed. It's
Well,
very
I would
cool.
say this may not be the first one and it may not be the last one, but what I will tell you is this one was a learning education to
Yeah.
make the next one go forward and make it amazing.
Yes, learned a lot. Learned a lot.
Yeah, and one thing that I do want to put out there, I want to throw out there that if anybody's still listening, I want you to hear this. The changes to the ability to get input from the nominee, or no, let me rephrase this. The ability to get input from literally everyone about what categories to focus on, what nominees, and how to judge. I had actually worked on that prior to any criticisms. Through the process,
Right?
and Danielle and Matt actually already know this. They're already aware because
Yes.
I had actually showed them links to like step 2, if you will. The ability to get input from the entire bourbon TikTok community. At least I think I shared it with you guys before there was any
You
criticism.
did. You shared it with me. We talked about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so the ability to get input from literally the entirety of the bourbon TikTok community, I had actually figured out how to do that before there was even any criticisms about it. So going through the process gave me the ability to learn and adapt to it if we chose to. And that's the reason why whenever there were early criticisms, I said, guys, this is just a rough draft. This is just an attempt.
Mm-hmm.
This is a test.
It was a test because it had to be.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
could have figured out the step 2, how to get everybody's input if we hadn't have done this right here. Okay.
Right.
So, yeah. So Matt, Danielle, I appreciate your kind words. I've had a lot
We
of fun
appreciate
tonight.
what you did.
It was super
Oh,
fun.
I had a lot of fun. Super fun. I think most bourbon TikTok that came in and watched and left and came in and stayed, I think they all realized it was just all for fun. I mean, I'm going to give people crap for winning. I'm going to give people crap for not winning. I mean, it's giving me more content now. And for that, I thank you because I'm going to talk shit to people now, for sure.
It's
Like
right.
Whiskey Diz. I mean,
You're
I
doing
expect
it.
Whiskey's Dig. I expect his content, Whiskey Diz, Kyle, Cole. I expect your content to raise up now because
Yes, that's
you've
the
been put
bar.
on a pedestal. You've got a bar set now.
Yes.
So don't drop the ball.
Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. Anytime you want to give those two shit, please do. And Cole, fuck him, right?
I love them. I love those guys. They make me laugh. They're good people. You know what? That's what bourbon TikTok to me is. It's not about clicks. It's not about popularity.
Nope.
It's not about this person. It's not about money. It's about good-hearted people. And there's a lot of good-hearted people in bourbon TikTok. And that's the reason why I stay, is because they're good people.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. And
Yes.
yeah, it's a great group. And I want to say though, like I feel like I kind of need to say this, that we need to give each other a chance too, though. When you
To explain themselves, to show it.
when you've got an issue with somebody, talk to them one on one. Maybe don't go from I've got an issue, so I'm going to create content about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe say, hey, what are your thoughts behind this? Where's this coming from? Have you considered X, Y, and Z? And
Right.
and I think that we would all be a little bit better off.
Also, a very
Okay.
good learning experience.
Yeah.
For everyone. For everyone.
Yes.
Yep.
For sure.
Absolutely. Well, look, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sign off of this event because we labeled this as being a 2-hour event. We are at 2.
We're right there.
Wow.
And
awesome.
I'm not going to lie. I really need a cigarette. So I'm going to end this. I'm going to smoke a cigarette. I'm going to piss outside because that's what I do. And then I'm not coming back on live tonight. But if anybody else is coming back on live, I will probably join yours and watch and chat and communicate with you guys while you guys are live. So,
well, thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. You guys are great. And I will talk to you guys soon.
And you know what? Last thing I want to say though is, honest to God, Matt, Danielle, thank you tremendously for joining me tonight. All of the judges, Randy, Josh, Clint, Kent, Jana, Allie, Kyle. I think that's everybody. Thank you guys.
I don't know. I don't even know who all the judges are.
Thank you guys. Thank you all. Like I told you from the beginning, if you chose not to join us tonight, there would be no hard feelings. There are none. Thank you so much for participating in this, collaborating in this. If nothing else, I learned a ton about how awesome all of you all are. You all are awesome.
Yeah.
And many of you I didn't even know, really, truly know until this.
Mm-hmm.
And now I know.
Yes, true.
I know how awesome you guys are. So,
Thank you.
Everybody, thanks for joining. I hope the folks in the chat, I hope you enjoyed the evening. But now I'm going to go piss on a tree and smoke a cigarette.
Have a great time. Thank you for everything. Have a good night, you guys.
Night, y'all.
Thank you.